Good morning, hustlers. What's up? So the last video I did was about knowing your worth, right? And that was kind of like different aspects of your life as well. But this channel is going to be more focused towards people who are starting their own lawn business. And you know what? There's a lot of you guys. There's a lot of people starting their own lawn business right now. A lot of them. And every year I see a lot of them fail. Right now in my market where I'm at locally, 3 businesses just went under. And when I say locally, I'm talking like zip code within 3 miles of here, 3 businesses went under. And my phone's going off the hook with people who were their customers who need service. And one of the things that I'm running into is they call me and they know that the company went out of business, and then they say, what's your price? Right, that's the first thing they want to know. What's your price? So I tell them my price, and then immediately they have an objection. Well, so-and-so charged me this. Well, they went out of business though, right? So here's the thing. If you're not careful when you're starting your lawn business, you're going to make the mistake of taking accounts as soon as you have the opportunity, or what you think is an opportunity. As soon as it's available, you're going to jump on it, right? Whatever they tell you they're going to pay, that's what you're going to take. Because whenever you first start out in the lawn business, you're looking at it wrong. And I'm telling you right now, you're looking at it wrong. You might not believe me. You might think that you're looking at it right. But you don't understand yet. So when people quit their job, or they intend to quit their job, they tell themselves they got to make more money than they were making at their job. So they go out and they look at what they're charging as an hourly rate. So they say, I was making $20 an hour at work. I was making $15 an hour at work. I'm going to charge this customer $23, and it's going to take me an hour, and then I'm making more money, right? And it's wrong. It's all wrong. So I'm going to explain to you where your pricing should be, where you need to start, why you need to start there. And I've seen a lot of videos on this from a lot of lawn care guys, and they kind of touch on like the equation, but they don't give you raw math, right? They don't give you real numbers. They just say this could change for your area. You got to know what the median is. You got to forget all that. I'm going to give you numbers, and they're going to make sense, and you're going to have to work from there. And it is what it is. You might think that when you tell a customer this price, they're going to say no, and maybe they will, but it doesn't matter, because you are starting a business to make a profit. You're starting a business to stay in business. And if you make the mistake of filling up your schedule, filling up your day with customers at whatever price they name, or at a price lower than it should be, you're slowly going out of business. And you don't realize it yet, but you are. So, to preface this, you need to price all of your accounts, all of your new customers, as if you are a larger business than you are. Why? Because you're gonna be. Unless you really intend to be an owner-operator, a solo guy, this is whatever you're doing, not necessarily lawn care, but unless you intend to do it by yourself for the rest of your life, which, you know what, maybe that's what you're thinking now. Maybe you're in your 20s or early 30s and you're strong, dude. I'm telling you right now, that's not a way to run a business. That's no way to spend time with your family. That's no way to build a business that you can give to someone else or sell, right? You can't leave this to your children. If you're the whole show, buddy, if you're the owner, the operator, customer service, the guy who does the quotes, right? People are calling you 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. You're working 6:30 in the morning until 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, 6 days a week. People are calling you on Sundays. It's going to eat you alive. It's going to wear your body down. It's going to wear your mind down. And yeah, you might be making decent money. It's not worth it, because when it's said and done, as soon as you're not on the streets anymore, as soon as you're not out there working, the cash flow is gone, right? Because you're it. So when your body gives out, or let's say you get hurt on a job site, right? Something unforeseen happens, you break something, and don't think that it won't, because that's when it's going to happen. The moment you think everything's cool is going to be when something crazy happens, right? A tree falls on your truck, whatever, man. You're out of commission, your company's, it's done. That's all there is to it. So when you build a business, or you start a business, the goal, right, is to take your hands off of it as soon as possible. And when I say as soon as possible, I don't mean you start a business and then you go hire a guy to do your 10 lawn accounts, and hope that everything's going to work out. It doesn't work like that, no. So it's going to take you a year. It's going to take you 2 years. It's going to take you 3 years. You're going to have to get out and hustle. You're going to have to work. You're going to have to sweat. But the goal is to take your hands off of it, right? So we know that if you're good, if you're any good, you're going to grow. You're going to get more customers. And when you get more customers, you're going to need employees. And when you get employees, your overhead is going to increase. Whenever you go out and look at a job and it's just you and you're the only one and you know it and the customer knows it, the customer, the first thing they say to you is how much. First off, I don't even know if that's the customer you want, because I got plenty of customers I talk to and we never even get to the price until I'm long gone. They said, oh yeah, by the way, how much was that? Well, what were we talking about when we were there? We were talking about the service, the added value, the quality, the customer service, the reliability. We were talking about problem areas they had in their yard. Because when you go to see a customer, you don't say me, 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 me. You say you, 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 you. What do you want? What would you like to see done here? What issues did you have with your previous lawn company, right? You talk about these things so you find out what the customer is expecting. Because I'm going to tell you right now, some customers have expectations that you're not going to meet. You're not going to fulfill. I met one just the other day. Sitting out there for 20 minutes talking to a lady and her husband, and I knew right then, it didn't matter what I charged them, how good of a job I did, they were never going to be happy. No quote, right? As a matter of fact, I need to call them and tell them that, because I just got to have it talk to them. But I don't care what company goes out there. I don't care what price they charge, and I don't care how good they are. This particular customer is never going to be happy. So depending on your customer, you got to feel them out. But sometimes if the very first thing they say to you is how much, and they don't have any other things to talk about, they don't have any questions, they don't want to qualify you as a service provider, they don't have any improvements they would like to see, at that point you're already setting yourself up for failure, right? Because you're just saying, okay, I'm going to be here, I'm going to mow your yard. That's it, right? That's it. Not, what about those brown spots over there? What about these trees? What about those shrubs? What about, none of that. Do you fertilize? Do you spray? Do you do this? Do you do that? No, just how much do you charge? If that's the first thing they want to know, you probably don't want them as your customer, because they don't care about any of that stuff. They don't care about their yard. They don't care how it looks. They just want it mowed. They don't want an HOA on them. They want you to mow it, and they want you to do it cheap, right? And if you don't do it cheap, they want someone else to do it cheap. That's all they want, because that's all they're talking about. Maybe that's not the customer for you. Period. Because the minute another guy comes along who's cheaper, they're gonna take them, right? So here's the deal. When you get out there, you go to the customer's house, property, business, wherever it is, I've seen so many people tell you, well, look at the size of the lot, do it by square foot, do it by this, by that. All these people who are getting in the lawn business have no idea what they're talking about, and they get out whiteboards and paper and they draw all this stuff. You are selling time, period. You're selling time and your materials. That's what you're selling. Right? So you're not going out and saying, all right, this is an acre and I do all acres for $60. No, you can't say that, because you don't know how many trees are there. You don't know if the trees are next to the fences, if you can't get the mower between the tree and the fence. You don't know if there's a ditch that you can't drive the mower down into, that you're going to have guys line trimming around and it's 70 feet. You know what I mean? You don't have any of this information, and that's going to change how much time it takes for you to do the job. Time is what you're selling. So even if it's just you, even if the customer knows it's just you, know that you intend to grow, you intend to hire employees, and you intend to stay in business when that happens. Because here's what happens. Guys go out, they get 100 accounts, they charge jack for them, right? They charge the customer $80 a month to come out weekly or something like that. They think they're making good money. Then they realize, I can't do this anymore. I don't have enough time in my day. So what do you got to do? Well, I got to hire somebody. I can't. Why can't you? I'm not bringing in enough money to pay the bills, to pay me and pay an employee. Now what are you? You're stuck. So at that point, what do you have to do? You either have to start bringing on new customers that pay more and getting rid of your lower paying customers, which is your entire customer base, right? Or you gotta fold. You gotta close the business. Or what some guys do is they sell. They sell the business to a new sucker. And they say, hey, look at this lawn business I got for sale over here. Look at what it brings in monthly. I got 100 customers, 100 of them. It brings in, I don't know, $7,500 a month. And some schmuck comes out of there and says, wow, yeah, I want that. And he pays for it. And then you realize he's screwed. So look, when a customer calls you, first thing, they're calling you for one of three reasons if they had a lawn company. Number one is the lawn company sucked. Number 2 is the lawn company went out of business because their pricing was bad, right? And they'll argue that. They'll say, oh no, it was under new ownership and they just didn't do good with it. It's because the new ownership didn't know they were buying a failing business. That's why they didn't do good with it. All right, or number 3, they're strictly price shopping, right? That's typically if they have a current lawn service and they're calling you, that's why. Now, of course, there's other types of customers. They just moved to the house. They've never had a lawn service before, whatever. Most of the time, if they've got a lawn service and they're calling you, the lawn service sucks, the lawn service went out of business, or the customer's looking for a better price, period. So they either want better price, better quality, or the company's gone. So these people are calling me and they're saying, hey, I used to get service from so-and-so, they just disappeared. So I tell them, oh, they ain't out of business. Well, how do you know that? Well, because I just picked up 5 customers from them yesterday and they went out of business. Oh, okay, well, well, he was doing it for $90 a month. Can you do that? No, I can't. Well, why not? Because I'm still in business and I intend to stay that way. So here's what you do. You go to the site, you look at the site, you figure out how long it's going to take you to do it. And then you think to yourself, all right, I'm going to have to drive 10 minutes here. I'm going to be on this site for 30 to 45 minutes. I'm going to have to drive 15 minutes away. How long was that? All right, that was 1 hour. How much gas did it take? All right, well, I had 2 strokes going. I had a line trimmer, I had an edger, I had a blower. Let's call that a gallon of mix between a house or 2, right? What's gas for a gallon right now? $3? Oh, but you had to buy oil. So we'll just go ahead and say you spent $4 in gas and oil on site, plus your mower, right? Well, what's your truck get per gallon? I don't know, 8, 10, 12, depends on what kind of beater you got. Mine don't get very good. $3 a gallon in that. All right, so I'm up $9. $8 to $9 gas and oil, right? Maybe that's being a little overboard. Maybe that's for 2 houses, whatever. So we'll call it 6. We'll say you're at $6 gas, oil, an hour. 10 minutes there, 15 minutes out, 35, 40 minutes on site. You spend an hour. So now you're in for an hour, $6. You have insurance? I've got insurance. Yeah? Do you have a phone? I do. You have a website? I sure do. Do you have an office? Is it a home office? Because that still counts. You got to pay to live there, then you're paying for your office. Yeah, you do. So what's your overhead? All these things get calculated in, right? Because if you only go out and do 1 yard every day, that 1 yard's got to make up for that. So just because you do 10 doesn't mean it doesn't count. You're still going to be dividing that number out. So you're there for an hour. You spent $9 to get there, right? Now, what are you making after that? All right, you take your $9 out of whatever it is you charge them. Let's say you charged them $20 for a cut. Let's say you charge them $80 a month for weekly service, right? So $20, you're an hour and you take your $9 out, you got $11 left. Now let's look at your insurance. Look at all your bills. I've got a buddy who owns a landscaping company. They're pretty successful. They started out wrong too when they're on their way to fixing it. It costs him, and he knows down to the penny, and he tells me this, $165 to put his truck on the road in the morning. That's what it costs. So all of his overhead, which means he knows he's got brand new equipment that he finances at 0%, because for him that makes sense, right? Instead of going out and paying 10 G's cash for a mower or 12, whatever it is, he finances equipment. He knows what his truck payments are, whether that be insurance, maintenance, whatever he's in on the truck for, right? The trailer, all the handhelds. So for each one of his trucks, every day, $165 to put it on the road. Now, a lot of you new guys aren't making that in a day, and you might say you are, but you're not, because you don't realize the numbers yet. But that's what it costs him. So what does he do? Does he divide that between 10 houses, 12 houses? His guys are going out and knocking out 20, right? Yeah, so that's exactly what he's doing. So now he knows if it costs me $165 to put my truck, that's not labor, right? That's just what he's got in the truck. It costs him $165 at 6 a.m. every single morning. He's going to divide that between how many houses he has in the day, right? So if he's got 15, 165, I mean, we can make it round, make it easy. So he knows what he needs per account to pay for that truck. Now, we're not even in the labor yet, right? So if he's doing 16 and he's 160 in, then what are we at? Somebody help me out here who's good with numbers. $10. That's what he needs. He needs $10 per account to pay for his truck to be on the road. $10 per account. Now you're charging $20. It costs you $9 to get there. You need $10 for your truck now. What do you make? You made $1. You made $1. Now I get it, your expenses might be different than his. I'm telling you what your expenses are gonna be, because your company is gonna grow. Because that's what happens when you start out. Why? Because you're not busy. And when you're not busy, you're reliable. And people love reliability. And so word of mouth occurs, and they tell people, I call this guy, he showed up right away. They don't know it's because you didn't have work. You know that. And so you jump on their cheap price. You're reliable and you're cheap. And the next thing you know, you got 15, 20 accounts a day. You're working, you're bleeding, you're sweating, you're crying, and you're putting yourself out of business and don't even realize it yet. Because when it comes time to hire, you cannot hire. So we need $10 per house just for the truck. We're at $9 in fuel and oil, right? We still haven't even added up what our insurance is going to be yet. We still haven't even added up our cell phone bill, right? And maybe we can ignore some of that stuff. Let's just say we know what it's going to be. Now think about this. You grow. You hire 2 guys. They work 8-9 hours a day. What are you paying them, right? Guys up north make decent money. I'm telling you right now, in Florida, everybody can say what they want to say. You start out in this Florida sun, $10-11 an hour. That's the reality of it. I started out in this Florida sun working in concrete years ago for less than that, right? So, you know, I'm sure there's some people on this video from, I don't know, some union state where hard labor starts at 16 or 17 bucks an hour, and the cost of living is 3 times what it is here. But I'm telling you, in Florida, that's what it's at, right? So let's just say you pay your guys 10 bucks an hour and you got 2 of them out there. So the job took you an hour, it's only going to take them a half hour. Remember, you only made $1, right? By yourself. Now you got 2 of them out there. So let's just say you're paying them 10 bucks an hour, so that's $5 each. So you paid them $10 now to be out there for the half hour. And that's being generous or liberal. That's saying they could drive there in 10 minutes, mow it in 10, and leave in 10. We know that's not going to happen, right? They're going to drive there in 10, mow it in 25 to 30, leave in 10. They're going to be close to your hour. You're going to be close to spending $20 in labor. And then you're $10 on your truck. And then you're $9 in gas and oil. So what are we at now? Where are we at? You're negative. That's where we're at. You are losing money to go there. So you paid your guys $10 each an hour to go there. That's $20. You paid $9 in gas and oil. That's $9. That's $29. You paid $10 to get your truck on the road. You paid $39 to be at that yard. And you made $20. So you lost $19. That's reality. There's nothing you could say to justify screwing yourself in your mind. And there's nothing a customer can tell you to make this okay. And trust me, they're going to try. They're going to tell you, you got other houses in the area. They're going to tell you, well, you're a solo guy. They're going to tell you whatever they need to tell you in their mind to justify it. And I'm telling you right now, there's no justification for it, right? There is not any nobility in suffering. And that's what you're doing to yourself. If you go out here and you start giving these people prices based on what you think you can do to make money for yourself when you're operating by yourself, or based on what they told you some other company or some other guy charged, you're screwing yourself. That's all there is to it. So what you need to do when you go to a job is you need to look at the job and you need to think, even if you don't have employees, I've got 2 guys working for me, that's what you need to think. And you need to think, I pay them $12 an hour. And you need to think, if I pay them $12 an hour each, that means I'm paying $24 an hour in labor. So if it takes them a half hour to do this job, I paid $12 in labor. And if one day, when it comes time to hire employees, I don't already have 2 trucks and 2 trailers, because you don't. I guarantee you, if you just started a lawn business and you're a solo operator, you don't have a fleet in your driveway. You're going to have to buy them a truck. You're going to have to buy them a trailer. You're going to have to buy them mowers. You're going to have to go buy all that new steel stuff that you just put on a credit card for yourself, or you waited years to buy, saved up. It's not cheap. You're talking $600, $700, $800 for a blower. You're talking $300, $400 for a new lime trimmer, right? An edger, same price as a line trimmer. And then what? Okay, well now you got to get new fuel cans for them. Now you got to throw a cooler on the truck. Oh, guess what? These guys need. Yeah. So all those expenses, right? That $10 a day, that $165, or an account rather, that $165 in the morning. Those are going to be your expenses too, whether you like it or not. Now, unless you're rich. But if you're rich, I don't know why you're starting a lawn care company, right? So you're going to either be financing all of this equipment. I love the smell of fresh cut grass in the morning, fellas. You're going to be financing all this equipment, Or what? You're gonna pay for it. You're gonna take out a loan. At any rate, it's money coming out of your account, right? You're paying for it, and you're gonna have to divide that into your accounts. And so when you look at what your labor is gonna be, when you look at what you're gonna pay for this equipment that you just bought for these guys to be working, and you start putting all these numbers together, there's no escaping it. There's not. There's nothing that you can do. There's no way that you can justify it. You're gonna go out of business. That's it. You're gonna go bankrupt. You're gonna fail. And I'm telling you right now, if you let the customer dictate what your price is, if you let your price be negotiable, you're gonna be screwed every time. You have to go there knowing that you're pricing your service for a business that's gonna grow and that's gonna succeed. And if you do not do that, you're not going to grow and you're not going to succeed. So when I said I'm gonna throw out real numbers, because a lot of these guys don't, I'm telling you right now, whatever the labor rate is in your area, let's say it starts out at 17, okay, that's what you're paying your guys. So do the math in your head. How long does it take you to do this job that you're looking at? If you're gonna hire 2 guys, divide that by 2, and you know that's your labor. And have that in your freaking mind, okay? And everybody's gonna tell you all the equations to figure out what your labor hours are and how to be more. We're not there yet. Right now, all you need to be focused on is, how can I bring on this account, and then when it comes time to grow, still service it without losing money? And you need to do that for every account with no exceptions, because you're slowly building your business with each one of these accounts like little Legos. And every time you make a little exception and you take one account because it's cheaper, or one account because it's closer, and you start building this horrible foundation, you're going to get to the point to where you can't do it anymore and you can't hire a guy. And so I don't know how you need to convey this to your customers, but all the stuff I'm telling you, it's non-negotiable. There's no way that you can succeed if you don't account for all of these things in your pricing right now, because you're not going to be out there servicing 100 accounts by yourself. You're not going to do it. You're not going to be out there doing 13, 14, 15 lawns a day, 6 days a week. For any pro, you're going to burn out. That's all there is. You cannot do that for a prolonged period of time. And I mean, don't get me wrong, if you can do it at first, right? If you can go out there and you can pull 75 accounts, if you can do 12, 13 a day for 6 days a week, and you're charging them the right prices, and you're making 9, 10 grand, that's great. You need to do that. You should be doing that. But you're not making 9, 10, 11 grand. No, you're making 3. All right? So you need to divide whatever you're making into thirds. A third of it is for you. A third of it is for the company. A third of it's for taxes. Right? And so if you can go out and knock down those kind of numbers for your first year, your first 2 years, do it. Because you're going to need that money to buy that equipment for those guys. I'm telling you, there's no way around it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, right? So I don't know how you got to explain it to your customers. I got a couple of different ways of doing it with mine, and sometimes they don't want to hear it. And that's fine. You move on, right? Because I've got plenty of customers that pay what and I'm going to tell you right now what I charge, right? So whenever I go to a new account, I don't care what size it is. I don't care how small it is. I don't care how close it is. I'm at $120 for monthly service. Minimum. You want bi-weekly? Okay, we're at 80. If you do the math on that, me working by myself, I'm doing okay. When I bring on employees, that's still going to be tight. But that's where it needs to be right now to stay competitive in this market and make my business so that it can survive later. And there are people out there who do not understand that. And that's fine. Let them go hire the guy who says he can do it for $75 a month. Let them go hire the guy who says he can do it for $80 a month. He's going to go out of business. He's going to do a crappy job. Or he's going to get hurt and not have liability insurance. One of these 3 things is going to happen. Either the service is going to suck because he's so stretched trying to do so many accounts in a day just to make money because he's priced so cheap. Or he's going to run out of energy, have to hire a guy, realize he cannot sell his company, at which point the next guy's going to do the same thing or he's going to go under. I see it happen all the time, right? So let them do it. But if you guys, all you guys who are starting lawn companies, even maybe the ones who have one now, that's had one for a few years and it's your side thing, whatever. If all the new guys would come together and say, hey, maybe I should make my pricing make sense. I'm running a business. Even if your business isn't legitimate, that's fine. It's not my business. It's your business. But if you guys would all work together to increase the median price, we could all do a lot better. But what happens is new guys come out here, or guys who are not working legally, and they want to get their foot in the door, and they're hungry, and they, first off, don't know what they're doing. They don't know why they're pricing what they're pricing. They're just trying to get the work, and they think it's good money. They have no freaking clue. And they tell these customers these numbers, and the people think that the numbers are realistic because they got so many of these new guys or illegal guys out here telling them that's the going rate or that's okay. And then that new guy goes out of business, and then the next new guy jumps in, and this cycle continues. And these customers who are price shoppers keep finding these new guys with these ridiculously low prices and thinking that that's normal. And so now they got this vision of our industry that it's cheap work, but none of them are reliable. That's not true. It's not cheap work. And those guys aren't reliable because they're not charging you enough money to keep their lights on and feed their kids. So if all of the new guys would get together and be like, we're going to charge more. Even you guy who's pushing that Toro out there right now, and you got the homeowner curved shaft, and I'm not knocking any of that. We all got to start somewhere, right? But you're the guy who's going to stay using all that stuff, and you're out there right now and you're charging my customers $18 a cut, and you don't have any insurance, you don't have any overhead, you don't have a trailer, you don't have kids, you don't have bills, you don't have a website, you don't pay for marketing, you don't do any of that, right? And that $18 a cut for you is balling, because you go home, you get your ramen noodles and stuff, right? Stop. Just stop it. If you can provide the same level of service that I can provide, you can charge the same price I'm charging. And if we all did that, we'd all be a whole lot better. Anyway, if you guys got any questions, comments, let me know, man. Hit me up. You can email me. You can comment on this video. Remember, like, subscribe, show your lawn care buddy friends. I'm making this as I'm learning and to try to help other people. I have people already. I've been in business a few months now, and I've got people calling me, emailing me, texting me, asking me for help because they've already found themselves in this situation. And luckily, I was able to network with some people early on who pointed me in the right direction before I ever got to where I am now. And had I not been able to get in contact with those people and learn from them, I'd probably be in the same situation as a lot of the guys who are contacting me asking for help. So keep hustling.